website is really creative and helps you build it. So let me just share my screen, and I'll just put that on. So yeah, here is the website for Novo Resume, and it's very simple. You just need a Gmail ID. You don't even need a mobile number or something that you might be a little fearful of communicating or your data getting away. तो आप लोग क्या करिएगा, सबसे पहले नोवो रेज्यूमे को गूगल करिएगा और इस वेबसाइट पर आ जाइए. And let me just go get through a few things, and Glancy, you can also tell us a few things that you think are relevant towards this while I go through. Yeah. So I'll just move on to this website. And here, when I see here, it actually has quite a few detailed information. For example, they have a blog wherein they give you a complete guidance on how to make a resume. And that's also a very good thing, because tool बनाने के साथ उन्होंने how to का पूरा का पूरा structure बनाया हुआ है. In fact, उनका एक video भी है. We can see that later on. Let's start with build a resume. क्योंकि ये जो बात है ना, ये हमेशा सबके मन में आती है कि भाई कोई आसान चीज मिल जाए और फ्री मिल जाए. Very important. I want everybody to know that this resume is actually free. And मैंने कई सारे websites देखे हैं जहाँ पर it's paid. I'm not saying it's a wrong practice to do. You should also subscribe because it takes some effort. But yeah, it's important for you to understand that you need to first find the free way. Yeah. So let me just give you some options in terms of templates. Clancy, what is your opinion on the templates? What do you think how it should be structured?
See, templates are something which really very important in presentation. You can prepare a fantastic dish, but before you taste it, the first impression is, what does it look like? If it looks like a mess, then it is not appealing, it is not appetizing, no one is going to taste it. So extremely important that you need to make it look good. And like any birthday cake, the more beautiful the cake is decorated, the more of the icing, of the cherries, of the sprinkles, and of all that garnish that's on it, that is what is making the person say, wow, this is so exciting, I want to have a taste. So you need to create that effect in your consumer, the person who's going to look at it. You need to feel good when you look at a resume. You should start to say, wow, this is exciting. Yes, Kumar.
Right. I mean, actually, if you have been looking at your own resume and some of the resumes, you will find actually a lot of people have resumes plain and simple dal chawal type resumes. Let me put it this way, that don't create an impact. So हम लोगों को सबसे पहली चीज ध्यान रखनी है कि जो भी आप रेज्यूमे बनाएं, अगर आपके सामने जो भी रेज्यूमे आपने देखा और अभी आपने ये वाला रेज्यूमे देखा, तो कितना फर्क था, मतलब in terms of color, in terms of crispness, in terms of putting things visually appealing. Nancy, you want to comment on the visual aspect of it? I'll just zoom in a few of the resumes so that you can guide.
In terms of perspectives and cognition, the way the human brain has been designed is that we see color first. Okay, color is what attracts us. Before we see a person, if we see somebody approaching us, the first thing our subconscious mind notices is color. And color is something that stays with us. So color is very attractive, and we have visuals everywhere. And today, the world of corporate through visual analytics and various other BI and AI tools are actually have studied and are optimizing those aspects into daily life. So all these templates which have been designed have been very thoughtfully designed, keeping in mind the visual aspects of the brain. So in terms of the color palette, very important aspects: color palette, color balances, contrasting more than one color, two colors. These things have a very important, they help you very in comprehension, make things very easy to understand. So if people have done it for you, optimize it. Okay. There is much more, even people who are colorblind or they're not able to visually see certain elements, these templates are designed in a way to help anybody be able to grasp and pick up the most essential elements. And you want that working for you, don't you?
I think I've lost Clancy on a little bit of an internet lag, but I think she'll be able to join back very quickly. Uh,
Okay, I
so
am there. I hope you can
yeah,
hear me.
Glenn. Yeah, now
Okay.
it's visible because there is some lag, and now you're back, Lindsay. Yeah, continue.
Okay. So continue, Kamal. Over to you because yeah, you can go through
Yeah,
these
yeah,
absolute
yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
visuals.
Yeah, absolutely. Really thoughtful. Really, I mean, what I call a graphic marvel. Because what happens is that देखने में भी मजा आना चाहिए. किसी भी चीज का रिप्रेजेंटेशन शुरुआत उसके देखने से होती है. और एक बंदे ने कितना एफर्ट लिया है रेज्यूमे पे, वो उसके मतलब एक छोटे से प्रेजेंटेशन से पता चल जाता है कि भाई इस बंदे को बुलाना चाहिए या नहीं इंटरव्यू में. लोगों को लगता है मेरे पास बहुत एक्सपीरियंस है, बट आपका रेज्यूमे आपका एक छोटा सा क्या कहते हैं ना, मार्केटिंग एड रहती है. तो अगर आपकी एड कैची नहीं है तो कोई नहीं देखता. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू मेक इट मोर कैची, यू मेक इट मोर अट्रैक्टिव. एंड ये टूल में आपके पास कई सारे टेम्पलेट्स मिलेंगे, आपको कई सारे फॉर्म्स मिलेंगे जहां पर आप भरकर इन टेम्पलेट्स को यूज कर सकते हैं. We'll go to that. Before that, Lancy, I want to ask one important question to everybody, and if there are people watching in the comment section as well, what do you think you should do before creating a resume? Lancy, what do you think we should do?
I think before creating a resume, you need to sit back with yourself, take a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, and sit down and write a little bit about yourself. A few points about who you are, where you're coming from, and where you want to be. You need to
Correct.
scribble it out. You need to be able to ideate about that self before you get into any kind of a template, before you start to make any kind of a resume. You need to start to do that. The other
Correct.
facts about yourself you already know. You know,
Right.
you know your birthday, you know all of that, but who you are as a personality, what is your personality, those things you need to somehow sit and you need to think about it. And you don't need to just think about this, the first time you're preparing a resume. You are growing, you are changing, your full body is changing every 7 years, your every cell is changing, your
Correct.
experiences, everything. You need to keep revisiting your resume at every two
Right.
years
Yeah.
Okay. And what
Correct.
happens, one of the best aspects when Komel told me about this particular tool was that we stick with one style of resume that we have built, 15, 20 years ago. Okay. Because it's too much of a headache to go and change all that. I mean,
True.
कौन करता है.
Correct.
But
Correct.
जब मैं
Absolutely.
कोमल ने मुझे ये दिखाया कि आपको एक डेटा सेट फिल करना है और उसके बाद जो टेम्पलेट्स है वो ऑटोमेटिकली आप चूज करो, वो आपको देता है ऑप्शन, so you can choose your
बिल्कुल.
color palette, you can choose your templates, and voila, magic,
Yeah. Yes,
absolute
we will
magic.
have that magic today, and we want people to stay continued with this live session as well as this video whenever you're watching later, because we'll show you how different it becomes in various templates. And before I wanted to add one more important point is keyword research from your job descriptions. So that is one big thing that people miss out completely when you're looking at making a resume. Because today, believe me, no human being is actually going through your resumes. All your resumes are getting evaluated through a, uh, I mean, what you call as the, I
Kind of a
mean,
machine
yes, kind of a machine learning process wherein they have what you call as a tool to evaluate whether you have the right skills matching with the job description, and
correct.
thereby the keyword research of your job descriptions plays an important role. मैं लोगों को सबसे पहली चीज ये कहता हूँ कि आप क्या करिए, आपको कोई भी जॉब अप्लाई करना है, पहले उसके जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस, 4 जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शंस को कॉपी पेस्ट करिए, उनके सारे कॉमन कीवर्ड्स को इकट्ठा करिए. एंड ये कीवर्ड्स अगर आपने अपने रेज्यूमे में छिड़के, सो देर इज अ वेरी हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट यू गेट अ कॉल. ये लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता. लोग हमेशा ये देने की कोशिश करते हैं जो उनके पास हमेशा से है. आपको उन्हें वो देना है जो वो चाहते हैं. ये बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है थॉट प्रोसेस में जो आपको लाना है रेज्यूमे बिल्डिंग के प्रोसेस. एंड before we go on to the section, we have people joining us and we are talking about the tool. I think people who have joined us late, we want to inform you that we are talking about the Novo Resume tool. And this Novo Resume tool, we will completely detailed, give you a complete analysis about it. And what you will do is that you can also put all your information and you can build your own resumes very quickly. I can assure you that the kind of resume that I'm talking about here, I can show you a few examples, and you would think that this will take a lot of time, a lot of creation methods that will be needed. But I can assure you, while we go through this process of maybe 15, 20 minutes more, not more than that from you, to understand how we build it, right? So it's very simple. We have to choose the templates that you need. And Clancy also explained in the earlier part of the video that it also depends what kind of profile you're going through. Yes. So let me take a template. Let me just go ahead with it. I'll explain what and how this works out, because आप लोग जब ये टूल यूज करेंगे तो आप बहुत फटाक से यूज कर पाएंगे, आप एक अच्छा रेज्यूमे बना पाएंगे, और एक ही टेम्पलेट से आप इनमें से कई टेम्पलेट्स वाले रेज्यूमे बना पाएंगे. So this is the biggest advantage,
Yes.
and it's just a sincere request for everybody who's watching us right now is that if you've learned something a little bit till now, then do consider subscribing to this channel, as well as liking our page on Facebook as well as YouTube. Do that because it motivates us. Yeah. Let's go on to the resume template. And yeah, I select a basic template. Yeah, I'm just selecting a basic template here. So I want to tell you that the basic template actually is like what you call as a sketchboard. Yeah. When you look at a sketchboard, it gives you a complete structure. और ये स्ट्रक्चर में मैं कुछ चीजें अभी आपको थोड़ी दिखाऊंगा, थोड़े से टूल्स इसके बारे में जो आपको काफी हेल्प करेंगे एक अच्छा लेआउट बनाने में. So I come to the part which is called as the layouts. Clancy, would you like to also comment on these layouts? Clancy, I'm not able to hear you. Yeah,
Yeah, so basically
yeah,
this is your field structure and this is the shell. Okay, so the most important elements of the shell are already there. You just need to fill in the blanks. Okay, so it's
right.
as easy as that, and you will see that you can fit it as per the size that is mentioned. I'll leave it to you, Komel, because technically you are better at this. But
Correct,
you have, like, for example, the work portion. You can see work in different sizes across the screen, and you can, as per the number of years of experience, you can choose the size of the window, the way it suits you.
correct,
So that is
correct.
what they have also considered. So it's very cleverly done, and they've considered everything. And the best part for me is that you can put it just once and get the styles out, in eight different ways that you want to. So that's the
Absolutely.
real fun element.
Correct. We'll come to that as well. And I just wanted to add that if you just go through that sections, intermediate, senior, and you will realize that it's altering based on the space that you might need. Maybe a senior person might need a little bit of space in terms of awards, in terms of various organizations. Somebody who's just starting up maybe has more education content, maybe certifications and kind
Right.
of stuff. So customization is quite possible. You could delete some of the tabs here. You have the option of just scrolling over the tabs and go on. Another thing I just wanted to indicate is that if you select a premium version, you could even go for another colored background or something. But I think at this point of time in your beginning, it's fine to go for a free version. And the free version itself, take my word for it, is pretty good. And a lot of websites are giving us resumes with watermarks. Clancy, can you imagine that? They're giving you a resume with a watermark that is made by recruiter.com. I mean, this is not done. Yeah, I mean, you give them a facility, at least let them make one resume at least. I mean, this is really a joke, in my opinion, that happens. Some of the website. That's why I've just researched a lot and come to this website. So let's take up maybe the resume of Akash that we just had seen previously. I can just tell you that look at the resume templates that you saw previously. And yes, he is Akash Rathi. He's a BTech Computer Science. He has some skills. So let's go on and try to fill in some of the information that Akash has given us. And Lindsay, you can guide us that how we should fill it. Because while I put in, we don't have to just put in whatever comes to our mind. We have to make it relevant. Yeah. So that's
Mhm.
where I just wanted to take it forward. So I'll just move on to the section where we are talking about the template selection. Let's take this template of maybe a simple basic template or not
Yeah.
much experience. This one maybe could be a good way to start.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would start it easy. I would go with the skill section,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
I would just plug in that aspect that is mentioned, AI and something which is just below his name, which I saw. So I
Yeah.
would just plug that in there, and I do
And
hope it
yeah.
comes to copy paste. Yeah.
Yes, Glancy, what we'll do is that we'll try to go in the sequence in which it
This
is
one.
actually asking
Okay.
us, and
Okay.
then you can guide us. For example, let's begin with the top corner.
Yeah,
wherein we are talking about a thing which is what they're talking about, that put in a good professional picture.
right.
And that's a good thing. If you want to elaborate a little bit on it, it'll be nice for the audience to hear out. I mean, in terms of how should be a professional picture. Yeah, really.
I think they've done a fantastic job. They've given you a picture there already, and if you can match that picture in terms of also the focus, because people, I just saw a resume wherein it was a decent enough picture, but the focus of the light was on the person's outfit rather than the face. The face was in shadow. So please, very importantly, be sure that there are no shadows falling in. The light is properly focused on the face. The individual should be looking to the camera and not away from the camera. So when the person, if anybody is looking at the picture, it's like it's through the viewfinder. It's a nice eye contact.
Correct.
Of course, you need to be presentable with a neutral background, if
Correct.
possible,
Yeah.
and a smile. Yes, a smile is very important. If smiling is difficult, at least something as close and not
Correct.
frown and not looking like you're going to threaten somebody. So
That's true. I
I
mean,
know
that's
it's
yeah,
very difficult. Actually, people have a lot of difficulty putting photographs. I'm telling you, it's
true.
it's like one of the worst things.
Yeah. So, Glancy, what would you like to add as a professional title? What do you think would be apt for a person who maybe has an experience of around 1 or 2 years in programming, and you can just scroll down his resume a little bit. You can give us a little bit of a professional title. What you feel?
I think what he's mentioning out there, is like software. He's in software, machine learning, and AI. So I
Right.
would write something like or aspiring professional, and aspiring AI professional, or IoT professional, because you need to find a word which is kind of looking at the future. So you need
Correct.
to have that kind of an and since he's growing, he could mention he could say that. But an
Correct.
IoT, or if he's looking towards becoming a data scientist, he could mention a future
Correct.
data scientist or something. So something which is a bit ambitious will do.
True.
Will do.
So what we'll do is that today, right now, we'll put in AI on IoT
Yeah.
professional,
Yeah.
and wherein the aspect of aspiring and going to the future could be a small pitch, and that
Yes.
could be added. Maybe somebody who's looking at or seeking opportunities in the area of machine learning or deep
Yes.
learning. Uh, Something like that could be
Yeah.
relevant. Glancy, could you elaborate on
I
how
would.
much? Yeah, yeah, Glancy, go on.
Yeah, you shouldn't have more than one sentence, maybe 10 words. Try to keep
Correct.
it really short, because you really can say a lot with a few words. So you can say, gonna be a data scientist in the next year, in the next 10 years, or you want to be heading a corporate, or in a particular field in 5 years. So
Correct.
that is your vision, because that becomes your vision, your
Correct.
mission. And the people who are looking at you, they'll say, okay, this guy is dead serious about it, because he's putting it on his resume on the top line. If he doesn't achieve it, he's gonna fall flat on his face. So you gotta be bold, brave, and be realistic. Yeah.
True. So I think a little bit of an introduction, which can be catchy, which has the keywords of your job description. Very, very important. When I'm
Yes.
trying to say that, very important. Look at what are the keywords of your job description. Try to put in that, because that will help you put that. Let's quickly go on to education. What's your opinion? How much education should you put? Should you put from school 10th, 12th,
Uh,
and your graduation? What's your opinion?
it depends, because if you're 18 years of age, then you've got to put everything, okay? And a resume is applicable for everyone, whether they have experience or not. So if you are a person who has no experience, then your qualification needs to speak for you. So then you've got to focus on putting everything in your education area. All right. If you're a postgraduate, okay, then you only need to mention your top three qualifications. You don't need to go to the bottom, SSC, HSC, da 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 da. Da. No. If you are a doctorate, you mention your doctorate, you mention a couple of masters, it's assumed that you've done the rest of it. Unless, of course, somebody very specifically asks you later on that they need all your certification, you can give that later. But don't cram it up too much, because it gets then too boring.
Correct. So I think that's a good point that you just made. That I think we should have it a little more detailed in terms of what is relevant to your information. Yeah. What I can do is also I try to fix this by naming the study program. It could be bachelor's in
Yeah,
engineering,
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. And we take Arya University. It could be Mumbai University. It could be stuff like that. And you could even add, if you're maybe somebody who just graduated or something like that, it could be a better option also to put your maybe your HSC marks or something like that. Could be a one way that you could maybe talk about your college here because you have just graduated, so maybe your 12th marks are relevant.
correct,
I'm just making a guess
correct.
here because,
It, you need
yeah,
to
yeah,
put the
Glenn.
stuff that is important. So if you got an honors, if you're honor, if you are major in a very particular subject, a very niche subject, mention it. If it's something that you are being serious about, then you would mention it. So do
True.
that. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah.
Correct. So what we'll do is that we'll quickly put in all the education sections that are relevant to that person in this section. Then we'll quickly move on to maybe his work experience. Herein,
Yeah.
I want to just highlight that even if you have a work experience, this is short. Maybe in his case, maybe he's a software engineer at Infosys for a small period of time. But I think what he can do is that maybe he could include a lot of things which are related to his current job description. So that's very important. Nancy, how do you think somebody should define their achievements? Or I mean, can you just guide us a little bit? If somebody has some projects, for example, I just wanted to give you an example that how maybe Akash has mentioned. Can you just scroll up a little bit, just to
Yeah.
show our viewers how Akash has done it? So whether that's sufficient, just you can scroll down, you can see his Infosys information. Is that sufficient according to you, or you should optimize a little bit and include some more information?
I think it's okay. I think it's fine, but I can
Correct,
see that it's a pretty junior profile, but
correct,
it's nice. It's clean, and what I like about it, it's honest. So within those
correct,
3 lines, he does mention that he's a full stack developer, which is a good thing, and he
right,
specifically mentions training. So that information is that he's working in that direction, he's getting there, and he's
right,
also very specific about what he has worked on, which I quite like. He's not going blah 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 blah, which
right.
is really nice. Be clean, be factual, and even if it's, you see, the company that you work with also speaks for itself. Okay, and yeah, that's it. Keep it clean. I would say just keep it clean the way it is, like that. It works fine.
Right. I will do one thing that I will also switch that now screen to this one where I'm actually entering some of the information from Akash's resume, just to show you some maybe some magic really. And we could also do some organizations that maybe he's worked with or he's part of. Maybe it could be an internship, and it could be working with maybe an NGO or something like that. He has worked with as a maybe a supervisor for helping the students. Something like that could be a way we could include some information. Yeah, that's how you could actually include some information in there. And here, Glancy, I mean, here we are at the skill section, what you were talking about. I think
Yeah, I
what we
think
can
that's
do is
also
that,
very important. Yeah, I would have just copy pasted what's written under the third line of his resume there, because
yes, I'll
that
do that.
itself, it and like you said, it's an SEO. It's optimized, and today everybody is scouring the net, looking at resumes using the search engine optimization option. So
Correct.
if these aspects in your resume match with the JDs, they will pull you in automatically. You're plugged in the selection, in the shortlist. Sorry, in the
Correct.
shortlist course.
Yeah, and when I'm talking about when I am looking at a personal project, I think Akash also, if we look, he's done some projects. Clancy, if you could
Yeah, yeah,
switch the screen to Akash's screen,
yeah.
and you can just have a look a little bit down, then Akash has done some projects. And I want to indicate to everybody who's watching it, even his Akash's resume, it's very important you to understand when you're putting a project. First, define the goal of the project. Second, what are the tools that you use? Third, how much did you achieve? And fourth, what is the future scope of this project? And that four things, if you are
Very
able
nice.
to highlight very clearly in a project, it gives a specific target hit. Lance, you want to comment on it?
No, I think absolutely right. because it becomes so much more easier to read. See, people, what happens? People don't have the time to go through all of this. So please understand. If I had to tell you, if I gave an individual 10 resumes and I said, go through this and find me that a couple of people will get fed up. So make it easier. And when you go with the what, where, which, when, and how, it becomes easier to understand. It becomes easier to quantify, to contemplate, and to make a decision. So
Correct.
do that.
Yes, that could be one that we could add. We'll meanwhile also add Akash's other project also to just to have his resume a little bit better. So everybody who's watching us right now, I'm only requesting you to, I mean, share this video with people who actually may be in need of construction of their resumes, because it's something which is quite relevant today. And with the COVID situation and the people's jobs on the line, and this has become really an area of concern for a lot of people. So, Glancy, you want to comment on that file? Meanwhile, I'll just plug in some of the
Yes, yes.
things that are there.
And I'm looking at Akash's resume, and I can see that this personal projects that he has done really look good, because I'm taking
Right,
the time to read what he has written. But he has not broken it down the way Komal actually mentioned.
correct,
Would it have been easier to digest? But
right,
still, since I'm giving it time, it looks pretty good. And he looks like a very promising young man. Okay,
right.
so Komal is
Yeah,
rendering that. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm actually copy pasting some of the information and a little bit based on your information, whatever guidance you've been giving us, that we should go about this way. And for example, he's done some certifications as well. If
Yes.
actually, Glancy, you could
Yes.
talk about that, and that's also a very important thing. And
Yes.
I think in the initial
Absolutely.
section, that's also
Absolutely.
indicated that
So he's
I think
done so much. Yeah, he's done quite a bit of stuff. So it
correct.
looks like the ambitious person who's continuously studying. The impression I'm getting is he's a go-getter, and he is really working hard towards his goal of being the best in the field of IT.
Yes.
Plus, I can also see that he's a team player, a lot of extracurricular activities, working with a lot of people, a lot of energy, enthusiasm, mixing with people. So I can see all these aspects, and these aspects, if they're plugged in properly into that resume, it just beautifies, the core of this individual.
Yeah, actually, people who joined us late, we just wanted to highlight people that this is the Novo resume tool, and it's absolutely a free tool. You could actually use it, and there will be specific templates that you could utilize, and that way you could really fill in all the information. It's very simple templates that you could use. And Glancy, what kind of achievement somebody who has a 3 4 years experience should put? What is your opinion? Should he go for the
I think
school college drama competition also included, or what's your opinion?
I think it depends on what is important for you and what you're going to pursue. Okay, because
Right.
like what I saw in this resume, it's like
Right.
heading a particular cultural event. I think
Right.
that's a good thing, because if you are proud of it, then you should put it. And if
Correct.
it's something that you're not only looking at in the past, it should be something that is talking about what you're going to be doing in the future as well. It should be a hint that you're this kind of a person. So people say, okay, this guy is a team player, he's a people's person, and he's an all rounder. So
Absolutely.
achievements is
And yes, yes, that's a good point. And actually, I just wanted to also indicate to people that whenever you're putting your languages, and especially for people who are doing software and programming, the Novo resume also has the option where you could actually rate yourself, and wherein you could actually put in whether you are maybe a fully professional efficiency, or you're somebody who's a little lower,
yeah,
limited working efficiency. And this could be relevant when you're talking about your programming languages like
yeah,
C++, Java, and Python. That could be one way that you could do this. You could also include maybe, because here when you're talking about programming languages, they are more relevant to users, and that's where it's very important that you can really make people catch your R programming could be one way that you could include that, and I'll just include that. And Glancy, how much do you think is interest important, and what's your
very
opinion
important,
on it?
very extremely important.
Right.
If you're the kind of a person who is in a personal, alone, still doing the same stuff that you're doing, at work, that's
Correct.
also good. If it's your passion, that's great. but a
Correct.
person needs to have a balanced outlook. So interests, music, sports, activities, anything and everything goes. Please, it's an important aspect. It needs to be developed if you don't really have interest other than work. So
Yes,
yes,
yes. Yeah,
and languages. Kamal, one more thing is that languages now there is the language that the spoken language and there's this
yeah.
technical languages, right? So
Correct,
you
correct.
can I think also plug in and put in another section where you can mention specifically spoken languages or something, so that it is not confused. But yes, if you're a
Yeah.
techie person, then you definitely need to mention the languages that you speak technically.
Yes, I think a lot of things could be included as you will go through and as you will try and fill in all the information with a lot of detail. For example, I am talking about the software development part. Herein, actually speaking, whatever work he's done in terms of UI, in terms of his improvement parts, would also be included. And that's where you could also have the details mentioned here. That so it makes a little bit of a difference in terms of what I call as a filled resume, and it makes a lot of difference. If you will go through ahead, you will realize that you could be somewhere like somebody who's really worked around a lot of things but not been able to express. Another important aspect I want to indicate to whoever are watching right now is that very important to be very specific. When I talk specific, I say I'm feeling good today, but it's just a generic statement, yeah. And when I am saying that maybe I am ecstatic, so that's very specific to my feeling, yeah. And whenever somebody says how much percentage did you get in 10th, you said I got a distinction, and I always make that joke. This means you were close to 70, right? You were never close to 90. If you had been close to 90, you would have definitely said I got
Mention
90%.
that. Yes.
Yeah, so that's where the lies the difference between generic and specific. So try to be specific, and the more you are specific, more believable it is. I can assure you that when somebody tells me I did a lot of projects, and finally people tell me that I did a Google AI project, I did a web-based project, it makes a lot of difference whenever you are giving the specifics. Yes, Glancy, can you elaborate
Correct.
a little bit?
And
I'll just
to
wrap up the
explain
resume
that,
meanwhile.
yes. So you need to mention the facts.
I think you lost Clancy for a little bit while because I think there is a little bit of
I'm
connection
right
error.
here. I'm
And I
right
think
here.
Clancy is joining. Yeah, Clancy, I think I there was a lag in between.
Raw
Yeah,
connection. I think you're having this thing going and coming. So what I was
yes,
saying was
yes,
avoid adjectives. Okay.
correct,
Don't go
correct,
with good, fantastic, beautiful. Give specific facts,
correct,
numbers, information. Quantifiable data which is quantifiable and easy to understand. Don't go with, oh, that was absolutely fantastic, but yeah.
correct.
Okay, cool. I think
Yeah, I
Komal, you
think
are done with this
yes,
particular.
I'm almost done. I'm just adding a few things that maybe will make his resume appear a little bit more filled up, and people can really see the difference between
Mhm.
the content here. And
Yeah.
firstly, I want people to really, whoever are watching right now, thank you for being along for this last 30, 40 minutes. And I can assure you that was an investment from your side towards yourself, not to us. Because if you learn today something, you'll create a good resume and you'll earn a better job. Nancy,
And
you want to
not
share
only
something
that,
about it? Yeah,
even if you are established and all that, please share this information with the younger ones, with people who really do not know, because it takes effort for us to do this, and we enjoy it, no doubt. But it's really nice if people can take advantage of these free tools which are available online, and really, it's fun, it's easy, and you will love the result of it.
correct. So I just want to just give you a brief that you can see now Akash's resume now, and this is Akash's old resume. I mean, this is like the old conventional one, and if you see
This
the
is the
comparison,
one. This is the one
yeah,
that when you look at, you say, "अरे मेरा resume तो वैसे का ऐसा ही तो है." It's
correct.
the same old boring stuff.
Absolutely. And here you will look at a resume which is a little more attractive, a little more appealing to you. And now I'm coming to the big part that you actually spoke, Lancy, that in the single resume template itself, we could actually get in the switching of templates. And that's the best part of this Novo resume tool. And I can just show you, yeah. Just look at this. This is, in my opinion, excellent that's happening.
Cool.
And this is real magic, in my
This is
opinion.
very cool.
And this is real magic. And for people who have joined us, I just only want to tell you that You can create this magic on your own, and you can share this magic with a lot of people. You can subscribe to this channel whenever you're watching it. If you watched it live or you're watching this recorded, I can assure you a free version of this resume tool you won't find very easily. And in fact, you can see how many switches I'm able to make with this simple way. And the most important thing, you could just click the download button down there and you're done. And
And
that's
you
the
have
most.
no watermark.
No watermark, yeah, no watermark. Nobody telling me that how I use this, and I can also share with people really that it is not with the watermark, because I mean a lot of people feel that no, no, Kumal is not showing us the right one. I want to actually go on to that PDF. Yeah, here it is. So here is the resume without the watermark, and that will help you secure a better job, a better opportunity. This is my only request, that this is something which is done out of just curiosity and in the intent of helping people. Clancy, we want to also talk about some of the events coming in ahead. Can you just elaborate?
Yes, yes, and we are having a lot of events coming up. In fact, we have almost back-to-back events that are coming up. We have sessions planned tomorrow as well. We have Dr. Derek who's speaking at a convention, and he's talking to specialists about treating children, and how to handle people having issues with parents having issues with special children. How do we manage them in this time, especially since we cannot reach out physically. There's a session
Right.
happening tomorrow. It's on our website. We have again a very special session happening on the 7th, the 8th, the 9th. So do keep watching us on our events. I'm sure there is something there for almost everybody, because we are taking a lot of effort to get very special people on this platform. We're not doing a lot of razzmatazz or sensationalism out here. We're getting real people, real professionals, to meet real people and real professionals. So that's our game plan. Okay.
Absolutely, Nancy. Yeah, and we are now already 42 minutes into this live, and I just want to request everybody who's watching till now that please like this video for, giving that small appreciation. Subscribe the channel, that you will see the red button, subscribe. And I see people take a lot of effort of not even clicking that. And that's a real pity. If you're here for 45 minutes, you can't click a button, and do share this video for a lot of people. It's my only request. Nancy, your final words before we close now.
That's it. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next session. And do comment and like our stuff. We'd love to
Yeah,
hear
and
from you.
yeah, and finally, we want to also put that in that if you have any questions regarding your resumes, please do put in the comment section. If you're watching it later as well, I mean, Clancy is somebody who's very experienced in this and does a lot of work in that area, helping a lot of people. So it'll be nice. We would like to also comment, and it's clearly an initiative that we're doing out of our own thought process to help people in this lockdown. Thank you so much for watching, and very good night for everyone who's watching it live. And for
Yeah.
wherever, if you're watching it during the day, have a nice day. But if you don't subscribe, man, that's not fair. Yeah. Come on, do it. Yeah. So let's keep it that way. Okay, then, guys. Thank you so much
Okay. Thank you
for
very
being
much.
live with us all this while, and thank you so much. Bye.